Even if I don't understand what's said, I still want to listen. So I've got some double protection. Just kind of felt like I needed to warm up. I'm feeling to wait until it burns out, until this offering burns out. I was gifted this by the Rastas in Cock Bay, and waiting for when was the time that I was supposed to burn it, and it was here. It was always going to be here. So I want to stay with it as it burns out. And I wanted to say, as an afterthought to day 5, I want to do videos that are a little bit more creative. There's something in me that wants to experiment with this expression. And it may be in the clothes that I wear and the lighting, because I like this weird kind of lighting with lights behind me at night, and finding different shapes, and in spaces to combine an interesting video aspect, and makes me feel a bit more juiced up, rather than sitting in a neutral background, and not talk for too long. Like right now, I'm out in this area on the arrivals floor outside. People come to smoke, and there's a beautiful feature landscape feature inside. So I get some green. Yeah. I get some of the green that I need to feed me. Wow, look at that. Look at that. It just keeps going. Oh, look at that. Oh. That feels like play. That feels worthy of videoing. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. So we'll see what that ends up being. And as I said, I want to do series and then end them, having a beginning point. I'm sorry, I only have plastic card, no cash.
What's that, Nomi?
Sorry?
What's that, Ron?
That's an offering that the Rastas in Cock Bay, they offered it to me. So I'm burning it before I leave the country.
For what?
To cleanse, to purify.
The spirit.
It's an offering.
So
It's a plant. It's, well, no, I'm not afraid of nothing. It's an offering, that's it. A gift. Yes?
Yeah, it's a clan.
Oh, so, yeah, I get that, and I don't. I'm like, here in Africa, you gonna ask me what it is? No. You gonna ask me what it is? I guess I just figure there's ancestral knowledge, and it's just, for some it's really very much present every day. Talking about healing and ceremony and rituals and then, yeah, I guess it's not for some. They've been modernized, I was modernized. And then the earth just called, and she called, and I answered the call. She lured me in. I exist in the world in a different way. It's an offering.
Offering.
Yes, as an offering.
What is that you're bringing?
Actually, I don't know. I can't tell you exactly. I know it's from here in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
The Rastas offered it to me, gave it to me as a gift, and I'm burning it now before I leave.
Okay. Nice.
Uh-huh.
From where are you?
Where am I from?
Yes.
The Cayman Islands.
Oh, welcome to South Africa.
Thank you very
Enjoy
much.
your time here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes. The first one was a black man, and the second one was a white South African. Yeah? Yes. And he was very gracious. I'm finding that South Africa, and for those who had, there are very few of you that are probably watching this video that you used to watch the other videos, but there was a video that I had done about how South Africa was freeing me. You know, it was this place that I didn't want to come to because of apartheid. I just felt like I was just going to be too fucking pissed off to enjoy it. And do you know that I very much risked that happening? That anger, I wouldn't be able to let go of that anger. And South Africa freed me. Yeah. So I'm really grateful. That irritation, that sand continually going inside the shell, irritating, and it became a pearl. It became this beautiful, beautiful pearl. Yeah. It had me trapped. Now I can do it in smaller and smaller bits, but it had me on the wheel. I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let go of right. I couldn't let go of injustice. I couldn't let go of grief and the anger and the rage. And the identity with victimization, let's be honest. Because there's always shadow. There's always shadow. There's never, it's not all light. It's not all light. There is shadow. Yeah. And I had to be able to be ready to look in all parts of that. I'm grateful for every space that I have stayed in since I arrived in Johannesburg. The first Airbnb that was a birdhouse. Staying at my friend Paola's, unplanned, but for 2 nights, I believe. And then another Airbnb that was very sweet for a month. And then another one. Each had their own lessons and encounters, And I'm really grateful for all of them. It started to rain. It's starting to just release a little bit of water. So, and then where did I go? And then I went to Melville. I was over by the dam. I was over by Louis Botha. Yeah, I moved around quite a bit in Johannesburg and got to be in different neighborhoods. Melville was really sweet, having everything so close by, and could walk to the grocery store, walk to all the restaurants that were very nearby, 27 boxes. and then going to Port Elizabeth, Quebeira, and staying there for a month with 2 kitties for the Brazilian couple. Being able to see the ocean. It was just beautiful. And that little mall, I'd done some recordings of videos in that little mall that was, like if you're gonna have a mall, that was a nice mall. It was enclosed, but it was transparent. It was beautiful. Loved it. And then going back to, oh yeah, that's when I went to Melville. When I left Quebeira, I went back to Johannesburg and I stayed in Melville. And Wild Jasmine, on Airbnb. If you are someone who loves a creative space, you love to be around local people, be hosted by as indigenous South African, yes, you will find Wild Jasmine to be a treat. I loved it. Each room had a theme. The music room, the furniture was very eclectic and artsy and mismatched and lots of colors and patterns, yeah. And very homey all at the same time, yes. And Pearl is very gracious, very gracious. So, yeah, that was awesome. And then I went to Utrecht, KwaZulu-Natal, and got to walk and do a tour of the reserve. Got to work outside, pulling weeds and helping with landscaping and organizing that house, and playing, singing with, creating with others, moving intuitively with music. Oh yeah, when I was in Melville, there was Wake Up Child, that experience of doing this production, doing a little investment in myself and in local artists. And we did Wake Up Child, and that was with Karabo Mohlala, and then it was with Bilal, and then there was Obi at 27 Boxes in Melville. Obi's store is a mixture of handmade soaps that she does, and she does creams and THC lotions, and she sells legal, pre-rolls, and she sells cannabis as well. And there's clothes, there's shoes. She is a businesswoman, quite the businesswoman, doing websites and setting you up for business license, advising, guiding in that way. She does consultancy work. So, yeah, and we did Wake Up Child and collaborated with Bilal as well on the first one, I believe. I don't know. Yeah, he was there as a guide, and that's how he was involved with how it came to be called Wake Up Child, because I was channeling, and he said that's the name, and yeah, he got me to see it as being something that can be done on a stage. Find other musicians and singers who perform intuitively, and it was beautiful to feel that my own flow with others and them flowing. So I know that's possible, and I'd love to do more of that. But I got to do that here on this trip. I got to go for long walks when I was in Utrecht. I had the real small town experience. I didn't get the village experience. Maybe I'm supposed to get the village experience in another African country. So I'm letting it go, This guidance that moves through my body, I trust it to let me know when, and Yeah. I'm living like I can move this way for a couple more decades at least. I'm just gonna try. We're gonna see. Um, I have more energy for this traveling than I did when I was in my 40s. It was so much heavier, you know. As I said in one of the videos, it's like or something I wrote on Substack. That the triggering and the, you know, going up against schedules and things not going as planned, and yep, I dropped it, but I saved it. Things not going as planned and rubbing up against people that were, you know, a bit annoying, I guess. I don't know. It just, when I traveled before, it was easy to get me off my game. It was easy for it to not be fun anymore very quickly. And I don't feel that, you know, I'm not feeling that weight. So there's so much more ease, you know. My body has more energy. I listen to it when it's time to stretch, when it's time to when it's time to drum, to sing, to get on a drop on the floor, you know. It's just beautiful. So much gifts. There was the pet sit in Cape Town with Wendy, with the birds, and Wendy being so sweet and creative, and, you know, sitting down with watercolors and saying, hey, let's paint, you know. Her beautiful garden, she's a botanist. The laughter, the depth of conversation, the eyes getting wet and maybe even tears running all over the face, you know? Genuine connection. That's like my ultimate pet sit experience. And I saw that start to realize with Wendy. I didn't feel it in Port Elizabeth. There was so little crossover time, and there was only communication about the kitties. And yeah, and so I just let it be as the way it was. But and then Carrie was another pet sit in Johannesburg. It was a short period of time. I usually don't do short pet sits, but I was going to be in Johannesburg just for a few days. So two of my friends, Anissa, that was a new friend that I met in Melville, and Pearl hosted me. I think both of them for 2 nights. So I had this experience of weaving in a pet sit for, 3 nights, 4 nights, and got to have conversation with Carrie. And she responds to my messages, but she doesn't initiate, so I let that go. Because it's, supposed to be with great ease and enthusiasm on all parties, And so then when I came down to Cape Town, Wendy actually wanted me to come 3 days earlier. 3 days earlier is great if I have going with a dog. I really like to get there and see what a baseline is. With their human companions. But Wendy had birds this time, so it was the house and the birds that I was taking care of. But she wanted me to come down 3 days earlier so that she could get to know who was going to be staying in her house, and I like that because I want to connect human to human, yeah. So I really like that. And then when I was leaving, I had this gap of like 8-9 days. And there was so much stress in the end. And I thought that's when I was going to be coming to stay at the airport. This airport had been sitting on the horizon as a possibility since then. But Wendy said, no, she felt all right offering me the place to stay because she enjoyed my company. And she also liked the fact that there was a date by which I would be going, right? And so we had a great time together. Really enjoyed my time with her, connecting deeply. And yeah. And then I went on to Somerset West and got to meet Kelly and got to be with Speedy, who is a doppelganger for my Gracie. She looks so much and behaves so much like Gracie. And so I got to heal the wounds of the loss and of Gracie, because for me to do this journey, I had to, at one point, I had to give up my Gracie, my animal companion. Best dog in the world. But also, truthfully, it happened because I loved her so much. I didn't want to see her die. I didn't want to see her get sick and wither away. And I guess that was selfish, but that's what I got. I didn't get to see her get sick and wither away. She died within 2 years after I gave her. She was 13 when I left her with Tamara, because Gracie wanted it as well too. It was Tamara that she liked to collect things, and Tamara had 2 dogs, so Gracie would have been part of a pack, and so that was attractive for her, and I let her go. But Speedy helped me to clear that and to heal that loss. And I got to connect with Kelly very deeply, and with Shay, and I shared my writings with them, and I shared videos with them before I canceled videos. I had shared that with them, and sharing very honestly about the process, the death process I was undergoing, in letting go of this identity of the spiritual seeker, and that being the story of this, 7-year journey. Now for me, I just see it as a deep exploration. I took a deep exploration into discovering who I am. And to discover who you are, you also have to discover who you are not. And that was exposed many, many times. And I am grateful for that exposure. I am grateful to have let those pieces of baggage go. Yeah, yes. It's light. Yes. My body feels light. I feel light. Yeah, man. Yes, I am very grateful. Look at that sky. Yeah, this is the part where creativity that I want to put together, and not just talk at you, but actually give you an experience of the place where I'm at, from an odd angle maybe. Yeah. I thank you very much for being in this conversation. And please comment, like, subscribe, share, do all the things. And I rarely say that because it never felt natural for me to say it before. But finally, it feels natural for me to say. Yeah. If you think that this could benefit others, and you want the algorithm to suggest this conversation to more people, yeah, I want to find my community. Yeah, so please, thank you, thank you, thank you. As this afterthought from day 5, Cape Town Airport Diary. Thanks for listening.